Hello guys and welcome back to another video. Has been a little while since the last one, so update on the accounts so far. I'd already mentioned that there is one of the accounts that would be rebuilt on the 30th, which is at the point of this recording, it would be tomorrow. So what I've been doing is just trying to really pass this account as quickly as possible, so just trading a lot more, and it's actually similar to what I used to do on the last accounts that I had before this, or the last account, and it didn't really work out that well. It's the same here as well. Had a really big day today, which kind of turned things around on the account. So right now what I'm going to do is keep the account, just pay the rebill tomorrow on the 30th, which I've renamed here. So currently up 1,000, of which basically all of it was today and some, because I ended up going into drawdown on this account. So I took 5 trades today, which is a lot more than I normally would of my normal 1 to 2, and 4 of them were winners. 1 was a break even. So I just put loads of risk on, like, for each trade. Fortunately it worked out, but had it failed then I wouldn't have really bothered too much. So another thing I have done is I've split these accounts up, and I was using this one as the lead and then one of the others as a follower. But because I wanted to go a bit more aggressive with this account, I just did this separately, and then I allowed the other 2 to be copy traded. I've also just put the date on which the rebill is, so it just helps me out with that. So the 30th, which will be tomorrow, I'm just going to pay the rebill. So my thinking behind it really is that right now, with where this account is, I only need to get, I say only, but it's 2k profit that is needed with a 2k drawdown, which is better than the 3k profit needed with a 2k drawdown. So I just thought, if I'm going to have another account, then I might as well just keep this one anyway. So it's better conditions. And it's just thinking in terms of risk reward on the account, is if it was a fresh account, it would just have to be a 1-to-1 instead of needing 1.5 profit for the drawdown. So that's what I'm going to do. As we can see, this is where I started to just push things a little bit, and as you can just see, it just started dropping down quite a lot. I went to 49.3, which I think at the time was about 500 away from the maximum loss. So that's what I started with today, and yeah, really turned things around on this one. I think it was 1.7 for the day. But yeah, also it was FOMC today, so I just thought, let me push it, and even tried to potentially pass the account today, which didn't happen, which is okay, but I'm happy with where the account is anyway, so I'll just carry on. So just looking at the trades, I think the last video was 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago, so I haven't spoken about this week yet. So Monday was where there was the outages on Project X because of AWS, so I'm sure a lot of you were probably impacted by that also. Bit of a shame actually, on this day I ended up having a winning day on all of my accounts, which was then erased. So anyone that was part of that would have seen that what happened with Alpha anyway is that any trades were just going to be voided between certain times, and I was profitable throughout that time, which is a bit of a shame. So it just kind of put me down for the week, if I'm honest. Kind of like negatively affected me in a sense, because it was the first day that I didn't have a trade on the account as well, and I think that's a bit of an issue, that I'm just kind of like forcing a trade each day, I suppose. But all in all, really, with how things look when I'm trading properly, bar this, well, I'll just quickly show on this anyway, I tend to have 2 red days per week when I'm just trading my normal way. So Of course, obviously on this one I've just tried to push and do more, so ended up being down on these 2 days anyway. But regardless, I would have been a little bit up here. A shame on how I traded here on this day, because I was actually out when I traded, which I've not done in all of this time. So a bit of a mistake there, and then had a really large red day, and yeah, had a green day the next day, which is fine. But then something similar again. I was out during this time, thought I'd saw something, and it had a massive loss. So big red week on this account, which is also on these others as well. So not as big on this day, as I had half the size basically on that trade, but nonetheless, yeah, just a big red week. So put me back a lot. So this week I really had to turn things around. So coming into this week, I just knew I really needed to push it and just trade a lot more than I normally would. Obviously it didn't really work out here. Went down quite a lot there, so I think it put me about 500 away from the account being blown. But yeah, I ended up doing like 1.7k today, which is nice, of course. Puts the account in a healthier spot. So what I'm going to do now is just go back into trading regularly the way that I'm doing, but I might up my risk to about 250 to 300 per trade, because what I've really been doing is about risking normally about 200 per trade. So that's what I might do, and I'm thinking I might just copy trade all of these 3 accounts now. So with this account, I think it's slightly in profit, basically break even. So I was kind of like following the same way that I was trading on the other account, and just had those bad days here, just being out. So it's just something that I just make sure I just don't do again. I think when I'm not fully focused and at my desk, then I don't trade as effectively. So I think I just need to put it to the side and just not do it. Obviously these days have just been a massive hindrance on the account. If I didn't have these, then the account would be a lot healthier, even if it was just like half the loss. But you know, it is what it is now. It's done. So the 10th is the rebuild date for this, which gives a week and a half. I'm not going to push it now. If I have to rebuild and just pay again, then I might just keep it, as long as the accounts are in a healthy place. This one's also on the 10th. I think this one's slightly down. Yeah, so 100 down. So both are basically break even. But yeah, I think if I just go back to trading the way I've normally been trading, just slowly just creeping up, just with a little bit more risk though, I think hopefully that'll kind of help things out there. I've actually won an account with Alpha. So I've won an account. I think it's supposed to be a 50k standard. And that was another thing I was thinking of, because I won the account during Monday. I was thinking you can only have 3 qualified accounts anyway. So I haven't been issued the account yet, so just still waiting for that. The standard account is quite nice because you can get up to a 15k payout. I just need to look properly into the ins and outs of that. Anyway, so that's a free account, so it would just mean that I wouldn't need to be billed on that one. So I might just kind of leave that there for the time being and just see what we can do with these 3. And then if one ends up failing, then I'll probably just bring the other one into rotation. I've also actually won an account with Top 1 Futures, which I'm also waiting for. So I didn't really know anything about this firm, Top 1 Futures. So I think what I've won is a 25k one step. So with this one, the profit target is 5%, daily loss limit of can't even think, 3%, I think. I can't even think right now, my brain's not working. 2.5% I think it is. And trailing drawdown of 4%. Yeah, my brain's just not working at the moment. Yeah, it's 4%. Drawdown is end of day. I can trade up to a mini on that one, so it's a little bit smaller in terms of how much you can put on per trade. Minimum days to pass is 1 day, and consistency on funded is 25%, so something to think about there. And then one thing then with this is there's an activation fee of 149, so if I do pass it, I would have to pay that to be able to trade on the funded account. So I don't know how I'm going to play that one anyway, so I'll just leave that on the back burner for the time being anyway, or maybe just full port it because it is only 1 day to pass it. So we'll see there what we do. So yeah, I'll keep you updated on that stuff. So with how things are then, 30th, this is going to be a rebuild tomorrow. I'm just going to keep the account as it is. It'll give me a month to potentially do the 2K. I'm just going to go back to my regular trading of just taking my base hits, 1-to-1s, not looking for like crazy big trades, and just go back to trading like once or twice a day. And most of my trading has been normally through like London. A lot of my trades that I'm failing is through New York as well. So I'm just gonna have to stop doing that also. Or just do it on a separate account and stay away from doing it on these ones. And I've also realised with a couple of the losses that I've taken, there's something that I'm finding in, I think it was 3 of my last 4 losses had like something similar in terms of where price was, and just looking at it on a standpoint where there's a potential where it can't go in my favour. So I also, and that was during like last week, I was starting to see that, and it kind of made me start second guessing a lot of my trades, and it took me back to where I used to try to like just be absolutely perfect in the markets. And I guess, well, it depends on the way you think of the markets. Is the markets can be imperfect. Otherwise, if it was perfect, then mathematicians would like already figured out how to always be profitable, 100% profitable at this point. So you need to allow yourself to be imperfect, but just still come out on top. So that's something that I kind of struggled with in the last week and a half, because it's something that I used to do with my trading years ago, where I wanted to be perfect with it, and it just really set me back, which I felt kind of creep back into my trading. So I need to hopefully like eradicate that, leave that to the side, and not allow that to start creeping back into my trading. So hopefully I can leave that to the side. But yeah, hopefully everyone's been trading well. Hopefully I can update more frequently once again. I've just been busy with a few things away from trading once again. I've also, I think I mentioned this before, but I've started posting some of the trades on TikTok. So Road to a Milli on TikTok, and you can find the executions and the trades just like panning out on those there as well. So I won't go through the trades on this one, so we'll do a longer video. But yeah, I'll catch you all in the next one. Good luck, good trading.